really helping to overcome and to mitigate the effects of learning loss, doing everything that they could to ensure that students remain engaged in learning and preparing for the future. But despite all of our collective best efforts, the impacts of the pandemic, especially we've seen those impacts on economically disadvantaged, as well as girls and people of color. They've resulted in, as I've indicated, learning loss, disengagement at a scale that we've never seen before. And so right now, with the resources that each of the states are seeing come in through the federal government, through our state legislators, and of course, with our private sector supporters, that we have some pretty large scale funding that is available to really help mitigate the impacts that we talked about. State and local levels now have the opportunity to decide how best to use those resources. And I'm so proud to say that JAG is here, they are ready, and truly, I think, excited to be a part of the solution. This is a population that they already serve, and it's a population where that hit the earliest, hardest, and now the longest by COVID-19. So the good news is, and I've seen that in my state, JAG's 40 years of experience, and especially the results, I think demonstrate that they can provide the most effective education, employment services to our at-risk and challenged youth. And in addition to that, they know what works in really overcoming that learning loss and that student disengagement. But I think, nothing tells the story better than the JAG graduates of the class of 2019, which achieved a graduation rate of nearly 96% across the 1,450 locations. And when you take into consideration the national overall graduation rate was just 84%. At that same time, 18 to 19-year-olds had the highest unemployment rate in the nation. That was about 30%, but not for the 2019 JAG class. Even though JAG serves some of the most vulnerable and challenged students, their unemployment rate after graduation was only 11.4%. And that's almost 3 times lower than the national average of all youth 18 to 19 years old. 90% of JAG students were engaged full-time in work, post-secondary education, the military, or some combination, while tens of millions of other American youth were out of school, out of work, and out of options. So I think those results are the reasons that 13 other governors have joined me in devoting their time to not only support JAG nationally, but work to continuously grow the JAG program in our states. Those results also demonstrate why 19,000 employers across the country often hire our JAG youth, because they've worked hard during the school year to not only master JAG's 37 employability competencies, and they have a customer-focused orientation. Employers have found that JAG students arrive on the job, they're ready to go to work and learn, they're focused on customer service, and they are fully engaged on the job. It's really hard to find the right words when I try to convey the power of iJAG here in Iowa and the impact that it's had on the lives and futures of so many of our youth and their families, especially during this pandemic. iJAG's frontline team will go honestly to any length to help students and their families overcome personal issues, family, education, employment challenges, just whatever they're facing or have faced during the pandemic. And while I believe that, they've done a good job, we've done a good job in mitigating learning loss and student disengagement over the last year, I think all of us collectively would say that we still face a lot of challenges, and that's happening across the country. JAG and iJAG offers one of the most proven solutions during one of the worst education, employment, social, and health crises in our history. So I'm here to urge all of our colleagues, whether it's governors, school boards, state legislators, and of course our private sector partners who invest in youth and the future of our country, to consider investing part of those resources toward overcoming these challenging issues of education and youth employment through JAG. JAG National stands ready to help in any way we can to implement new and expand existing JAG organizations nationwide to help meet the challenges ahead of us. And I want to thank the governors who are with us today and the remarkably committed companies such as AT&T, McDonald's, and Honeywell, who represent the employers that are working with us across the country. I'm delighted that you're going to have the opportunity to hear shortly from some of the governors on our board and some of the businesses that have not only invested in our work, but they often hire our youth. They've seen firsthand just how well prepared, how enthusiastic, and genuinely customer service focused that our youth are when they have the opportunity to go to work. So Ken, I just want to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak this afternoon, to be a part of JAG and IJAG, and as vice chair of the JAG board of directors. It's always a pleasure to promote the tremendous success of this organization and the hardworking, motivated youth that it serves. So thank you for all that you do, and we look forward to continuing to see this grow and expand across the country, and most importantly, see firsthand the impact that it'll have on our young people in making a difference in their lives.
Thank you, Governor. We're grateful to have you, and grateful to have such a great proponent of the program with us. I know Governor Kelly is with us from Kansas. She actually got engaged with us when she was in the state legislature, but then really got her head even deeper into it when she became governor, as she looked at the range of challenges in Kansas all before COVID, and was enthusiastically supportive of finding ways to grow it, and also enthusiastic about joining us on the National Board of Directors. I'd love to tell you that we've organized this exactly the way we did, with 2 Republican and 2 Democratic governors. It is the way it worked out, but it is the bipartisanship that has characterized this organization since its very beginning. So Governor Kelly, it's an honor to have you with us.
Well, thank you, Ken, and just want to say hello to my colleagues. It's good to see you. I hope we can get together one of these days soon in person. I am really pleased to be here to talk about the Kansas chapter of Jobs for America's Graduates and its successful efforts to make a difference in the lives of our vulnerable students across our state. You know, I've always been passionate about education in Kansas, and I've been a longtime advocate of JAG-K. Now, during my 14 years in the state Senate, I worked closely with the JAG-K program, and now, as governor, I am honored to serve on your board of directors. Over the years, I've learned much about the program's critical role in young people's lives. You know, it really does break down student barriers to success, gives them the tools they need to succeed in school and in the workforce and in life in general. You know, here in Kansas, JAG is in 78 schools, and the program has achieved a phenomenal 97% graduation rate over the past 3 years. You know, I've had the privilege of meeting with JAG-K students on several occasions during my time in the State House, and they never cease to impress me. But today, I'd really like to talk about one student in particular who caught my attention as a bright, dynamic individual with unlimited potential. I met Krishayla Adams last year during a virtual ceremony to celebrate JAG-K's receiving the prestigious 5 of 5 award. Now, Krishayla is a student at Topeka High School, just down the street from my office. She was chosen to participate in the program because she was already serving on JAG's national board and had won a national JAG competition for public speaking. I was immediately taken with Krishayla. Her intelligence, her poise, her vision, and her drive. I also learned that she's aiming for a career in law, working with young people. So I seized that opportunity to bring Krishayla into my administration by asking her to represent Kansas youth on my Juvenile Justice Advisory Board. She brings a fresh, much needed perspective to the board. I'm also now Krishayla's Commander-in-Chief, as she recently enlisted in the Kansas Army National Guard. She'll serve in both of her new capacities while also pursuing her undergraduate degree at the University of Kansas. You know, it's in someone like Krishayla that we see how JAG-K makes such a difference in students' lives. I want to thank all those present this afternoon for their tireless work on behalf of JAG students, particularly Iowa's Governor Kim Reynolds, who's part leader of the JAG National Board of Directors. I'm committed to working with all of you to promote JAG's mission on the state and on the national level to ensure all students succeed in school, work, and life. And with that, I'm going to hand it back to you, Ken.
Thank you so much, Governor. And we'll have to, the fact you've brought Priscilla into your administration is really exciting and impressive. And it's good to make sure the voice of JAG-K is right there on your shoulder. So thank you so much for doing that.
You're very welcome.
Our newest state in the JAG National